Hi!
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of the Manifest Actual Play campaign. Before we get started with any recaps about all the crazy stuff that's happening, let's toss it over to Addie. Addie, do we have any announcements?
Yes. And I wrote some of them down, so I'm gonna get at least some of them. So the first thing we want to do is thank you all for tuning in last week on Friday. We had a ton of fun, and we are glad you could join us. And we're also super glad, and a very big thank you to our dear friend Sean Four for
Oh,
playing with us.
Sean.
Yeah, if you
If you
guys.
missed it,
Yeah.
it's the video is available for another week on our video library on Twitch. So you can, after you're done here with us, or maybe tomorrow or sometime this week, you can go ahead and watch the Manifest Actual Play One Shot with Sean Four. It
Ooh.
was a good time. We played different characters and we got up to some shenanigans.
Dan was good at combat.
It was fun. It was fun and a fun, reminder of what I once was.
And our second announcement is that if you didn't kickstart Manifest, but did um, pre-order through Backer Kit this week, probably tonight, maybe question mark, depending on how late the stream goes. You will be receiving an email with an invite to the Discord, the closed Discord. It's been 1 year since we opened the Discord, so we're gonna get some new blood in there, see what's going on. Um, and uh and so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, those of you who pre-ordered, I don't know if any of you are fans of Essential NPCs, but almost every cast member of Essential NPCs is in the Discord. There's lots of nerds who are our friends who want to talk about things. So throw whatever comments or questions you want in the Discord once you get to join.
So look for that invite coming in the next couple of days, and hopefully sooner than the next couple of days. um Also, um after the invites are sent out to our backers, not our backers, our people who pre-ordered through Backer Kit, on the Discord, we are dropping the link to the first in a series of manifest stories written by our friend Russell Zimmerman of Shadowrun fame. He's an crazy good writer, and we are super privileged to have him write for us. He wrote a series of 5 stories, and we're going to be dropping one every week. For the next 5 weeks. So once all those invites are out and everybody can be on the Discord, anybody who has bought in to the Manifest, either Kickstarter or pre-order, is going to get that link and going to be able to read a really cool story. So don't miss it. Now's the time. Um, um, and speaking of other things that we talked about last week, we have some good news on the YouTube front of things for this stream. We took the week and we made some really great progress on editing and scheduling our streams. So we expect those to go up really soon. We don't want to give you a 100% date because we are not video editors, or we're trying to be professionals, but we're not there yet. So it takes a little bit of time to learn how to do that. And then once we get, we're going to start releasing those so people can catch up to the stream and watch live. And then maybe, there's no promises, we'll start releasing the audio on the Essential NPCs RSS feed. So that's where that all is. It's very good. This has been a very productive week for
Yeah.
us. And we're just super happy. So and we hope you are too. So that's, I think, everything. Oh, subscribe. um, so if you like the stream and you want to support us, please subscribe to us. Here, or gift a subscription if you already subscribe. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, you can use your Prime membership to get a free subscription to a channel for 30 days, and then you have to re-up it every 30 days. So if you are a Prime customer, make sure that you are re-upping your subscription. It's like within like 5 days of when it's going to expire or something like that, you can re-up it. So just make sure to check and follow us. Hit that little bells or heart so you know when we go live. And
right.
that's it.
And that's the announcements.
Look at how well I did.
Oh
Did
my
you guys see that?
I'm so proud.
All right, so a little bit of a recap of what's happened so far. Kinsey, Pax, and Roland have found themselves in quite the predicament. They
Could say that.
they
So
discovered the location of the Riveteers, the nomad pack they were hired to find for both the town of Soldina and the tribe of the Ophidian clan. Both societies have a vested interest in the Riveteers returning to their route and transporting goods and people on said route. Turns out the Riveteers were attacked by another nomad pack called the Cloud Cutters, who ambushed them hard and fast with superior firepower and drove them into the mountains. This is where Kinsey, Pax, and Roland have found the Riveteers, and also where they discovered that the leader of the Riveteers, one known as Tusk, is in fact Kinsey McCharlotte's estranged mother, who he used to know as Pikejaw. They found the Riveteers in a cave as they prepared for a final ride against the Cloud Cutters to destroy them. And these three drifters joined that ride down Snake Boot. Was it Snake Boot? No, Split Boot Canyon. Split Boot Canyon. They joined the ride in their truck called Cho, and they drove alongside the Nomads, and the Cloud Cutters reacted with a very strong and decisive attack that took out a lot of the Riveteers, including none other than Tusk and her war wagon. As the pride of this branch of the Cloud Cutters arrived, the Bullwhip, driven by the illuminated Red Wheel. The Bullwhip is a large, hovering, essentially, bullet with controls, as it flew into this fight down a canyon ledge and just smashed right through Tusk's war wagon, splitting it in half. Now, at this point in the fight, Kinsey, Roland, and Pax find themselves three of a very small number of people loyal to the Riveteers left in this fight, as one Cloud Cutter gyrocopter, heavily damaged but still operational, is still in this fight, as well as the relatively unharmed Bullwhip that has led Roland to lose control of the truck known as Cho. So Roland and Kinsey are in the truck. It is spinning out of control. There is a hover car with some Riveteers who have been kind of pressed into this fight by Kinsey as he shouted at them. Pax, however, is not in the truck. Pax is utilizing Roland's grav stability harness as she is attached to the Bullwhip with a grappling hook. She is being dragged behind the bullwhip, the grav stability harness lighting up with energy, keeping her from actually smashing into the ground as she is being pulled behind on this high speed chase. And that is where we find our three drifters.
I forgot we invented gravity skiing last session.
I prefer the term dust skimming, but like you can call it.
I think it's a regional thing.
grab skimming. Split the difference.
Yes, over here we call it dust skimming, and over there we call.
So I'd like the three of you to roll initiative as we reach the top of another round of initiative in this fight, and I will move us over to our initiative overlay with the music and the mood lighting.
For some reason, I just got the Metal Gear Solid music, like the dun 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 dun. So
I like it.
My investment immediately paid off.
In having good initiative.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did level up last session, and Dan did spend a significant amount of his talent points to become good at initiative. But you are up against nomads. Did anyone get better than a 10? Okay, 9, 8. Oh,
I got an 8.
okay.
My awareness is lower than theirs.
Good to know. All right. Anyone do something around a 6?
I think you skipped a number there, 7, which is the one I have.
That's why I said something around.
Yeah, no, I got a 7. My awareness
Nice.
is a 6.
Nice. No, yeah, you don't tie anyone. You just beat them. Kinsey, what did you get?
I got 4. I got no hits on my fucking die.
Oh no.
Do you want to spray grit?
I have I'm worried because I only have 3 grit. I probably should spend grit, and I can spend
So
grit.
if you spend 2 grit to twist the knife, it's the difference between 2 turns and 3.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Fine, fuck it.
Okay, so you spend 2 grit. Twist the knife. Well, twist the knife just gives you an automatic extra success.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
But he didn't get any successes, so he can't twist the knife. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Right, yeah.
you-
It has to be a successful test, right?
Yeah.
So what I was actually trying to do was
play to the gallery.
play to the gallery, which I did, and now instead of 4, I have 5.
Hey! All right. Cool. So, some stuff happens before you guys get to go. With the truck spinning out of control, kind of swerving off to the side and scraping up against the side of the canyon, the bullwhip moves to the side to get a clear line of sight to the hover car with the remaining riveteers in it, and it is going to start firing on them. Like, basically the slots are going to open up and gunfire is going to rain out, and one of the riveteers out of the 3 that's in that car is going to be shot dead and drop down to the ground. And that is the bullwhip. But the riveteers now get to go. And they are going to basically return fire on the bullwhip. You watch as their weapons ping relatively helplessly off of the armor of the bullwhip, maybe doing a little bit of damage, but nothing significant as they try to find a weak spot firing upon it. And Pax, it is your turn.
Okay. On my turn, will the grappling hook pull me in?
You can roll a gymnastics test to kind of keep it stable. You could also use athletics. I'd let it be either. to try and repel yourself close up without like having a lot of like wide swings that make it take longer.
Okay.
And your grappling hook will give you a bonus to this. It will give you a +2.
Wow. All right. I'll take it. So that is 3 hits.
Okay, yeah. I'll let you use a free action as you're able to keep your body kind of like you spin out for like a second, but then like you spin around holding on as tight as you can, and you spread like your elbows and your knees out a little bit to kind of give yourself like a wider cushion of like anti-grav like energy, which kind of like levels you out like horizontally. And then like with that kind of like rough like stability, you engage the grapple gun and it starts pulling you in, and you zoom up. Your grappling hook was attached to the bottom of the bullwhip. Is that where you want to end up, or do you want to try and grab onto it before you go all the way under?
Oh no, I'd prefer to be on the top part.
Okay, yeah. So as you get like kind of close, you disengage the grappling hook, and because you rolled well enough on your test, you're able to kind of grab onto the back of this vehicle and pull yourself up onto the kind of side of it. You aren't able to get all the way to the top, but you're able to like hang on to like the kind of back corner of it.
Okay. Are my feet on the actual car yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you disengage your grapple gun. The grab stability harness hums down as you have now you're like holding on to the side, whipping around but holding on firmly.
Okay. The slats aren't still open, are they?
There are slats. They're very, very thin. But they are relatively open. The people within would have excellent cover.
Okay. Nothing has prepared me for this. What side is the door on?
There's a door on either side, is what you were able to see as the chase, as the bullwhip entered the fight. It had basically like hatch doors on either side that could swing up. It looks like, at least by design.
Okay. Is that thunder? That's cool.
Yeah. It just started storming pretty bad here.
Oh, right.
Neat. May I use my action to get on top?
You can use a quick action, and I won't make you roll for it. It will take a quick action to get directly on top.
Okay.
So you get yourself on the back corner. You look around for a second, and you push yourself up and like kind of grab on and start pulling yourself like on your stomach onto the top of this thing. The wind smashing into your face, dirt and rocks like pelting you.
Okay. So the very front, you said it was like there was glass, or is it like a see-through portion where she's sitting?
Portion, yeah. It's got like a red tint to it, but it's this kind of like dome that like reaches out of the front of this vehicle, and she seems to be sitting in it almost like a cockpit. She being Red Wheel.
Right. Cool. I think I want to spend my whole turn getting to the edge of that like area.
Sure.
Like I don't want her to like see me yet. I don't want to make my presence it's known,
Yeah.
but like I want to be able to affect change on this machine shortly.
Okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and do a sneak test. You're gonna have some modifiers because you're like on top of this truck. It's moving around a lot, so it's hard for you to move extremely stealthily.
I will say there's dust and rocks hitting it constant.
Right, but you are on the roof of it. It's the dust and rocks are not hitting it on the inside, so.
Yeah, but it is loud. Maybe.
Let's see. So you are gonna be rolling at a -3.
Okay. Okay. Reliability. Eh. Do I have not a roll? No, I don't.
It looks like you are up against an 11.
Cool. I have a 13.
All right, how many net successes over an 11?
2.
Sweet, yeah. So you keep yourself as stable as possible, and you very like stealthily creep your way up, and you can see as you move along the armored like black and red body of this vehicle, kind of crusting over the bend of the front. You start to see the shape of that domed glass like kind of window at the front as you make your way, finding handholds, making sure they're secure, and pulling yourself in. And as far as you can tell, they haven't made any motion or maneuvers to try and knock you off or shoot you, so far you think you're doing decent. Hey, Roland.
Hey, I'm gonna try to not be audio poisoned, but it is hailing now.
Okay. Well, you've lost control of this vehicle. I need you, before you do anything else this turn, I need you to roll a drive test with whatever modifiers are currently applied to you to see if you can regain control of this vehicle.
It's just a lot of hail is the thing. But I got 2 hits. Oh wait, that 6 explodes. No, just the 2 hits.
Okay. 2 successes is in fact enough to regain control of this vehicle. So you scrape up against against the wall, and you butt up against a jutting rock, and you're skid off to the side, and you go up on 2 wheels, and for a second it looks like you're about to tip over, but you are able to turn the wheel, you counter turn the wheels to make it a little wider, and that slows you down but slams you down, gets you back to fishtailing, and you get control of the car again. And so yeah, you guys are no longer crashing.
Great. I believe. Sorry, without looking up the I mean, guys, I'm doing all the Foley here.
Yeah, you can hear the car chase. There's tons of rocks hitting the car.
Yeah, I forget. Is slow down a quick or a focused action?
Oh, you want to try and change your distance?
No. Not my distance, my speed.
Oh, so it is a quick action to change your speed, or you can do it for free by damaging your vehicle.
That's fine. I think the other thing I want to accomplish is at most a quick action. I would like to slow down now.
Mm-hmm.
To the one where I don't have a penalty to handling.
Oh my god, there's so much hail. Okay, so you I need you to roll a test to achieve that. It is just it's not modified by your speed or your handling. It's just a straight up vehicle test. So roll drive for me. What I'm afraid of is, like, I can see the lightning behind me. Like, I feel like the hail is gonna make its way over here soon.
Yeah. I'm west of y'all, so it must be north of me.
Yeah, he's a bit north of us.
I think it has calmed down a bit.
Yeah, it sounds like you got through the worst of it.
Have fun. So I got 1 hit, which I believe means I can slow down 1.
Yeah, you can move it 1 degree.
Okay, and then if I hurt the car, I can
every degree you move it after that is 2 damage directly to the car's hit points.
Okay, so I will hurt the car once, so I can move down 2 increments.
Sure.
So I have a +0 to speed now, but also notably no longer a penalty to all these dodge-based handling tests that I keep having to make.
Nice.
And then I would like to spend full grit to flashback.
Oh. All right. So you regain control, and what's your flashback? What are you trying to achieve with your flashback?
So all the riveteers, they like conked out, or just I saw the eyes glaze over when I started talking about the chemistry behind the smoke screen we made.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. That's a fun preview.
Yeah.
So the thing about this smoke is it is extremely flammable.
Oh. So you're saying you augmented the smoke screen to be some kind of combustion element as well?
Yeah, it's sort of, I'd hesitate to say napalm, but that's only because I couldn't exactly make napalm.
Yeah, okay.
I think.
This feels like I'd let you roll technology at a -2 or just straight up machinery to see how effective your mixture is on this flammable smoke screen.
Okay. I assume my Omni tool helps?
Absolutely, yes.
Great. So I'll roll technology. -2. So that's 3 hits on technology.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. So they started like glazing over, but you were like, "Don't worry, I'll figure it out." And
Don't worry, none of you fly. It'll be over you. Heat rises. It's not.
And so like after they all kind of started falling asleep, you like you help them you use them to help you make the structure of the vehicles, but then like when you were fueling, you're like, one of the things you told them was like, empty all the fuel lines, I'm gonna fuel these up myself. And then you took all of the riveteer fuel and like you like took some of it, mixed it in with your like smoke screen mixture, and then fueled up their vehicles, only skimming off the top of like their net amount of fuel to make this smoke screen, this kind of gaseous explosive flammable mixture that you apparently have decently well. So that is a successful flashback. You did this smoke that's kind of like permeating above you guys, like still guzzling out of the back of the hover car. It is indeed very flammable.
It's probably like pretty good. It's sort of sticky because it's flammable. It's probably pretty good along the bottom of the bullwhip, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
At least the front for sure, because it came in down and then
sure.
and then landed.
Yeah. So then for my other quick action, I turn to Kinsey. Hey, you have a lighter in your survival kit, I say, rooting around in it.
Probably, yeah. No, 100% is.
Yeah. Oh, hey, great. And then I turn it on and toss it out the window and set the sky on fire.
Yeah, you do that. That part won't require a test. You already rolled your test to make it so it's true. Yeah, okay. Cool. Let me look at some stats here for a second. You got 3, so... Okay, alright. Well, so that's a thing. And then... Pax, I would like you to roll a defense test for me.
Okay. What? Any kind of defense test?
No, it's considered a ranged defense test. So either dodge or either gymnastics or athletics. You can't parry fire.
Not yet.
I have 4 hits with a 14 high.
Okay, cool, perfect. You don't happen to remember your highest rolling, right?
Oh, on
the machinery or tech test that you rolled?
10.
Okay, perfect. So, Pax, you're hanging on, you're creeping up to this thing. You watch as the truck actually regains control. It's like on 2 wheels for a second, your heart kind of sinks, but then you watch as Roland manages to drop it back on 4 wheels and get back in control of it. And they start driving on 3 wheels. Well, 4 wheels, one of which is very damaged. And starts driving basically like alongside the bullwhip. And you look over and you see through the window as Roland, like one hand on the steering wheel, kind of glancing to the front, is like rummaging through Kinsey's bag, and Kinsey's like kind of shrugging at him. And then Roland like whips out, and then you just like, you lose him for a second as he leans back out his window, and you see a little silver thing fly up in the air. And then the entire cloud of smog ignites. And you're like kind of hanging on for a second, and you just like drop yourself as low as you possibly can. You feel this hot heat over the back of your neck, like licking at your shoulders, like as the sky like just becomes fire directly above you. But you manage to keep yourself low and flat enough. You kind of spread out. And you're not damaged at all. Meanwhile, you also notice little flames kind of drop down in front of you and light up the front of the bullwhip. Nothing super crazy, but like around that kind of dome, there are some fires that are starting to sprout and spread along the front of this thing. Meanwhile, the fire traces back towards the hover car, and you watch like the two riveteers that are still alive, like they're like, what the, and like the fire like licks down and then gets pushed back and then licks down and then pushes back, and they're like freaking out. But like right now, the like amount of smog that is coming out is continuing to like just spew fire about 2 feet away from the back of this hover car. And they're like freaking out. They don't know what to do, but they're like watching and thinking they're about to explode. And then you all 3 hear the crashing explosion of the gyrocopter as it is like half engulfed in this fire, and it slams up against the cliff edge, and its rotors like spin out and like disappear in the flames. Its entire body encapsulated in flames. One person manages to jump out, but he also is completely engulfed in flames, and he just plummets to the ground and crumples and spins out, and the entire body of this gyrocopter like crushes in on itself as it kind of spins against the side of the cliff edge, and then falls behind the chase and falls behind you as it kind of spins out, sparks of fire shooting off to the side.
Beans and gravy. Roland, did you just set the entire sodding sky on fire?
Yeah.
Don't you think that was... I mean, it achieved what you were trying to do, but you could have just set all 3 of them on fire, couldn't you have?
There's no time for this now.
Kinsey, it is your turn.
You went to bed. You don't get to judge.
I love the
Just because I couldn't find a rope ride to ride, that's all. So there's one person writhing around on fire. Oh, he's done.
He's way back there. Like this chase is like high speed. As soon as he hits the ground, he's like gone.
Would I have a better chance of throwing something to Pax or inside one of those little slots?
Definitely 2 Pax. She would be working with you.
Great, perfect. I'm going to try and toss her one of my grenades. Would that be a quick action? Would I still be able to shoot?
Let's roll. Let's
see
roll.
how it goes. Fair enough.
Yeah. I would accept range at a -2 or just straight up skullduggery if you have it.
Skullduggery. No, I mean I have it, but I don't really have it, you know. All right. So let's try this. You said -2?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. No. You're horrible. You messed up my last roll. All right, here we are. All right. That's 3 successes.
Yeah, it's a free action. You're like arguing with Roland, but reaching down, and you just pull out a grenade, and you're like, Pax! And you just toss it, and Pax, you're like spread out, and you see this, you don't know what it is, just something lobs towards you from the car, and you just catch it and lean down to the ground, and you look, and you have a grenade in your hand.
I immediately check if there's a pin in it.
There is. It looks like the grenade has not been turned active.
You never know.
But yeah, Kinsey, you rolled well enough. That's just a free action. So you still have a focused action or 2 quick actions, your choice.
Yes, I'd like to shoot with my rifle if I can. Can I shoot one of the hovering pads?
Yeah, I mean, you can take a called shot.
I think I have more of a chance of damaging one of those than I do with this giant bullet thing.
Yeah, so you can roll at a -2 because you do a called shot.
Sure.
And I suppose the success here would be negatives to like speed and handling as like the thing you shoot kind of malfunctions.
Preferably, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I'll make sure that I.
Wait, can you just not shoot out a tire if they're a hover car?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. It doesn't have.
This truck needs to be a hover truck yesterday.
Yeah. Once wheeled is specifically the characteristic that can be damaged and take penalties.
Gotcha.
As soon as you don't have the wheeled characteristic, then you're like gold. Then it requires like called shots and like some finagling to maybe get a temporary benefit.
Sure. Damn.
All right. Well, got a high of a lid.
Kinsey, well, I guess I don't know. You may have grit. You're up against a 14. You're up against a 14.
No, good lord. Yes, I'm not shooting that thing.
So Kinsey, after you toss the grenade to Pax, you lean out and you line up. You see one of those rotating like hover like elements on the side of this thing as it kind of like locks into place to allow this thing to kind of like push itself up a little bit. And you're like, there it is, right there. And then like just as you begin to squeeze the trigger, you notice like you lock eyes for like a second with Red Wheels. She's got both of her arms in the controls. She looks at you, sees you, and then she pulls one arm back, and the car dodges. It moves to the side without losing any forward momentum, and your shot goes a little wide. And then she pushes one arm forward and straightens right back out easily.
It's called damn illuminated drivers. Can't get the bullet in edgewise.
I forgot that Kinsey hates illuminated people.
I think hate is strong, but they do freak me out.
Those of you in the car, Kinsey takes a shot. She pulls to the side, pushes one arm back in, and then Kinsey, you see you can't see her face because she's wearing a filtration mask, but you watch as like her eyes crinkle in a smile, and then she just pushes both arms forward and pulls to the side, and the bullwhip just lurches forward and swings in heavy on you. And Roland, I need you to roll a defense test. Based on your handling.
Okay, so it's -2 because I have the 3 tires, and a -2 because the car is hurt. My high is a 5.
That's not gonna roll.
Well, I mean, it's pretty close to the highest number I'm allowed to scenario, so
Fair.
it wasn't gonna get a whole lot better.
You eliminate a surprising amount of my successes.
Gunfire will do that.
And yet, you, my friend, the vehicle you're in, which can't take injuries. Jesus. All right. Well, here it happens.
Oh, no. We're not making it out of this.
You're gonna be fine.
It's fine. You would have to do, like, gunslinger tier damage here for the car to be instant.
I don't know. I mean,
He might, but like this car, while quite hurt, is really far from dead.
Just gotta look up one quick rule, and I'll tell you how much damage your car takes. Okay, cool. The car takes... Well, I might spend grit, so to make it simple and quick, let me know like how close near you are to death.
Sure.
The car takes 27 damage.
So it takes 21, which it's body times 4 or body times 8?
4.
That's literally just about exactly it.
Is it exactly it, or should I give you guys some grit?
Oh, no, you don't have to spend grit to
Okay.
get.
Cool. All right. So yeah, the car takes 27
It is unmade.
damage. Roland and Kinsey, you immediately take crashing damage, which Roland, you can calculate because you know what the speed is.
It's
right?
twice the body plus speed.
Yeah, body plus speed, and then multiply it by 2.
Cool. It's 16 damage.
Both of you take 16 damage.
Man, if I had gone slower, this could be a tier 2 injury instead of a tier 3.
Yeah, so she smiles at you, Kinsey. You see that happen. And then, just like with the most casual of arm movements, the entire like weight of this massive high-speed vehicle just turns and its engines blare and it smashes into the back of the truck. You watch as the back of the truck, like the bed of the truck, gets shoved like 3/4 of the way in. That back tire like bursts off and goes flying. And you see that for a moment, Kinsey, and then you can't see anything because the car is spinning so wildly out of control. And then before you know it, you're like flying up and flying to the side. Your center of gravity is gone. You black out for a moment, Kenzie. So both of you either take 16 damage or take an injury. It's your choice.
I'd love to take an injury, yes.
All right, both of you roll injuries for me.
Just one die and you take what it says, yes? Or do we take roll two?
If you have no injuries, it's just the 1d.
Ooh.
Somewhat fittingly, I am now concussed.
What does that do?
It's a -1 to reasoning and awareness.
Okay, so your reasoning and awareness attributes are reduced.
That's fine. I don't need one of them anymore.
And I have received a disparaging wound.
Oh no.
So my tenacity and personality attributes are reduced by 1.
Okay, so you both black out for a second as the centrifugal force of the car spinning wildly makes you lose vision for a moment. Pax, you see the whole thing unfold as the back of the truck gets crushed into the cab, and then it rolls over nose first, and then just starts spinning and smashing, and then you lose it behind you as it flies back in shrapnel and gas and hydraulics. You lose complete sight of Roland and Kinsey as this chase kind of turns a corner and you can't see them anymore. Roland, you wake up, up is down, left is right, everything is spinning. You hear a loud ringing sound in your head, and you turn to the side and you see Kinsey kind of hanging upside down in the passenger seat, and he's got a cut that goes all the way across his face and seems to have kind of pushed 2 of his teeth apart. Maybe he lost a tooth. And down his neck and into his shoulder, his whole body hit the windowsill. And it's just this bloody, bruised thing. And he's just hanging upside down, and then Kinsey, you kind of come to, and you shake yourself clear, and you see Roland sitting there, and his eyes are completely unfocused as he tries to stare at you. Pax, it's your turn.
You dick.
Man, I really wish that I had one of those magnetic belts. Be nice. I don't really have much technical expertise, but how many bullets do I think I need to put through this dome in order to specifically kill this driver lady?
She would be considered to have excellent cover as well.
Right. So no, if I wanted to destroy the cockpit glass, the cockpit glass is my target.
Oh, just to break the cover?
Yeah.
I guess it would be a call shot. So -2.
To the car.
Yep.
Do they go after me in initiative or before? She just went, right?
She just went.
I mean, you just have to make a hole big enough to drop a grenade in.
Yeah.
You could shove one of the grenades through the gun slots also.
Yeah, that won't kill her though.
You snuck pretty good last time. She might not even be aware of you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I guess I'd like to see, can I reach the gun slats from being on top of the vehicle? Cool.
Absolutely. You have much like rodeo jockey on an Ache, you have like secured yourself on top of this thing. You have control.
Okay. Yeah, so I would like to lift up the flap closest to the driver
Sure.
and pull the pin on this grenade.
Sure.
No, they're dead. I wouldn't do that. I don't do that.
Okay. What do you do instead?
I wait to see what happens. I'm alone now.
You're holding your turn?
Yeah.
Do you know what that grenade is? Did we talk about it or?
No, I
I
have
thought,
no idea.
I thought, no, okay.
Nope. Nothing. Don't know anything.
No, that's fine, right. You and your moral code, you do whatever you like.
No, I mean, I legitimately think it's gonna kill everyone in
Right.
there, which is fine, except for that I'm alone in the desert with no way out.
Sure.
So Pax, you get yourself ready. The slots actually open up as fire continues to rain out on the riveteers in front of you, pelting their car. They're very preoccupied with the fire guzzling out of the back of their car, but they manage to like. It seems like the shots are mostly focused on the vehicle. So they drop down and then they're like shouting at each other, like, "What do we do? I don't know. Shut the gasket. I don't know." You like. The slot is open, the guns like fire out, and whoever was operating that slot leaves it open for a second, and you have this grenade, and you look at it, and you look at the slot, and then you kind of freeze for a moment as you start doing some mental math, and you're going to hold your turn. And the riveteers, the one who's like in the back is going to like shut the gasket to like make the fire like get cut off from them. And then like turn and take a couple pot shots at the bullwhip, which moves easily to the side, and then there's a point where the canyon forks, and the person at the wheel of the hover car looks like they're like all the way looks like they're going to the right, and then they, as the like bullwhip starts moving in on their side and they're moving towards that right fork, they like stop the car basically, and then like they dip down in a way that makes it so their nose of their vehicle goes under the bullwhip, and they turn around and drive the other way towards the left. And now you are alone on the bullwhip. The other riveteers have vacated the fight. Do you still hold your turn, or do you want to do something?
I hold my turn.
Okay. Roland and Kinsey. Effectively, you are out of this fight, so I'm just addressing both of you at the same time. The roaring engines that have previously surrounded you are gone, like an instant. In the moment you lost momentum, the fight drove miles away from you. And the two of you are alone in this crumpled husk of a truck. And both of you seem conscious and ultimately unharmed, in the sense of you're not dying.
Your face looks like shit.
Well, you don't look so great yourself.
Yeah. Should we go check on your mom? It's pretty far back. I don't know. We're not catching up. We could go.
We're certainly not.
I have one idea. I don't know if it's any good.
What is it? I mean, just spit it out at this point.
Shit. What was your What was the name your mom called you? There was, the one you had.
Hounsfang was my given name.
Hounsfang. She called you Hounsy, was it?
Hounsy, that's right. Yes.
Great. And I click on the Cloud Cutter's radio.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, Tell Koenig the Red Wheel just killed his fucking son. Hansi's dead. It's her fault.
There's no
What's
response.
your play here?
I don't know. Sort of throw a metaphorical grenade at a political situation. See what happens.
Oh no.
Well, see how that turns out. I couldn't tell you the politics of. Well, let's see what happens. Actually, that might work.
I guess let's grab our stuff and see if your mom's alive now.
Sure.
It's like this car's.
It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I thought it was bad on 3 wheels, but it's probably worse on none.
I'm gonna do a weird I guess homebrewy thing.
It's not homebrew, Tommy. You invented the game.
Well, I'm gonna make you both roll a supply test. And I'm gonna put the threshold at, I guess, 5. No, you want to roll high in this game. 5. As long as you roll equal to or higher than a 5, you're golden.
Okay.
This is just gonna kind of be to see what of your inventory has survived the crash.
The only thing I care about is on Pax's belt.
Kinsey rolled a 9.
You're good.
Man, this car's gonna blow up.
Great. Perfect.
Can I roll?
What'd you roll, a 20?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Pax, you have all your stuff on you, don't you?
There's one thing I don't. There's 2 things I don't.
What, Miguel's gun and what else?
And bow shield.
Okay, I'll put yours... Yeah, yours is still a 5, so go ahead and roll.
I don't know if I'll ever see them again.
Cool. So, Roland, you and Kinsey kick your way out of the car and climb out, and you look, and Roland, your like ability to assess like vehicles like kind of lines up. You kind of soak in the damage, and then you see as like oil is dripping next to like a sparking flame at the back, and you're like, oh no, we only have a very brief amount of time.
There.
Well, so what you're able to assess is that you have a brief amount of time to grab all your stuff and get away before this car blows up. Yeah, Kinsey, what did you get?
A 9.
A 9? Okay, Pax, what did you get?
17.
Perfect. Roland, what do you have? What don't you have on your immediate person? I know you have probably your Omni tool and your.
No, my Omni tool is on Pax's belt because she demanded it to break into this truck,
that's
so
right.
that's fine. She's also wearing my grab stability harness, so that's fine. I assume the filtration mask is something I can just like wear around my neck, so that's fine. I have to imagine I've kept the noise-canceling earbuds close.
I do have that player on my belt. Yes.
I have a question about the cargo drone. Does the cargo drone also take 16 damage from the crash?
No, it's part of it's part of your gear.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so things that I don't carry on my person. Disguise kit, lockpicks, and maybe the lockpicks, but I'll say I don't. Any tonics, this one smoke grenade, ammo, my gun, the Hoffcell RC tag. No, you know what? I carry the Hoffcell RC tag on me.
That fits in a pocket.
And then the cargo drone.
Okay.
Everything else is accounted for.
What was the first thing you said?
Just the disguise kit.
It's gone.
Oh.
You managed to you both grab all of your stuff. You even grab Miguel's gun and Bo's shield, and you get away from the car, and it explodes, and you start taking a quick inventory. And Roland, you realize your disguise kit. You didn't manage to grab it. It must have fallen out of one of your packs.
Huh. It feels like in a different state of concussedness that would have perhaps more significance.
Well, look on the bright side. At least I've got my player and my Bobby Klein originals here. Badlands Road, take me home.
You guys start walking back towards where the other wreckage remains.
Yeah, we put Miguel's gun on the cargo drone and those shields.
The cargo drone kind of just like behind you as
music echoing off the canyon walls.
as Lakeside Mama.
I pull out an earbud. If an animal comes here and kills me because of Bobby Klein, I will haunt you forever.
Pax, what are you up to? I think we've broken out of structured time and now we're in narrative time. You are on the back of this vehicle as it drives into this empty split of the Split Boot Canyon.
Yeah.
You haven't made your presence known. You chose not to throw the grenade.
Yeah. So I would like to see where this thing goes.
Okay. So you're just gonna hang on top.
Probably not. So like hang on top for a while, but if I hear like jetpacks and whatnot coming, then like I will like go underneath and kind of hopefully use like the kind of everything that I have in order to like stay on, and then before they like roll directly into their camp, like I want to do the cool movie exit where I like roll out from underneath a thing and hide behind a thing, I guess, if they go anywhere that I want to be. I guess.
Go ahead and roll a sneak test for me.
All right. Neat. This is not how I planned to spend this session, I can tell you that. Kia! Ugh.
You are only up against a 7.
Oh, all right. That's 4 hits.
Yeah, them being distracted helped you. Pax, you're able to actually, with the utilization of the grab stability harness, you're able to kind of creep your way over the course of time along the side of this thing and then swing out under the bottom as you hear like gyrocopters and jet engines in the sky. But one thing you also hear is like celebration within the vehicle. You hear people like cheering and like shouting and be like, "Oh, did you see when we did that?" And like you can't make it all out, but you can get just kind of a general revelry from within the vehicle. And you just creep your way down the side, and then you hang back, and like the grab stability harness kind of like lights up underneath you. To keep you from having to like use all of your muscles to keep yourself at the bottom of this thing. It kind of is like you have to hold on a little bit, but like the grab stability harness is doing a lot of the work from stopping you from falling onto the bottom of the underneath this thing. And Kinsey and Roland, as you start walking your way back, you start to see the smoldering remains of some of the motorcycles. And one thing you notice, even from a distance, is that with the exception of one, the other motorcycles, their drivers are missing. Like they survived the crash and maybe went off somewhere. And one of them is very much dead. But you see that from a very far distance as you've walked a little bit of time towards this area. It's like it seemed like it was just a second ago that they crashed, but like the walk is so much slower. So it takes you a decent amount of time just to get that far. And Pax, you're kind of hanging there waiting and for the bullwhip, which you actually, there's a weird moment where the bullwhip kind of goes up an almost entirely vertical surface. not completely straight vertical, but it's like just barely, and like you're just kind of like, oh god. That's the point where you have to hang on a little tighter as it makes its way up a spot and then falls back down and keeps going. But you manage to hang on and you're fine. And as you kind of see this smoldering scene in front of you, Kinsey and Roland, knowing that just a little ways back you'll find the wreckage of your mother's war wagon, Kinsey. You hear kind of in the distance, kind of like engines roaring and like, you know, the sound of like jetpacks flying around and gyrocopters kind of flying around. And then you hear this echoing sound that kind of seems to be coming from the sound of the gyrocopters, as a voice rings out, a recorded voice rings out through loudspeakers. And Pax, you hear this as well. Surviving Riveteers! This is Ferdinand Koenig of the Cloud Cutters. Your reputation for resilience is well earned, and you have fought hard. It was a brutal battle, but what's done is done. As of today, your route belongs to the Cloud Cutters, and while the Riveteers are no more, your services and skills still have value. Come to the Cloud Cutter camp atop the Axton Arches and join the largest pack in the Western Badlands. And there's a slight pause, and then you hear kind of this crackling sound, and then, Surviving Riveteers! This is Ferdinand Koenig of the Cloud Cutters. And it just kind of goes on a loop. Sometimes closer to you, sometimes further, but at a volume that you think kind of permeates this, you know, mountainous, canyon-filled area.
Do we see anybody nearby heading towards that broadcast?
You don't see any living Riveteers immediately. Right now you have the wreckage of some motorcycles and one dead Riveteer, but you still have a little ways to go before you make it to...
Just wanted to make sure there's nobody, you know, coming out from behind the rocks and being like, oh, I immediately volunteer.
Yeah, no. You look around and it seems you are alone.
Sure. Just keep going, I suppose.
Well, this I suppose is great news. I mean, relatively speaking.
In what way?
Oh, well, he's just invited us to come to his camp and fuck up his day.
Oh, another Mad King's Gambit, do you think?
I mean, I've moved beyond plans and schemes. I'm sort of just, you know, figuring out the plan 4 minutes ahead of me at this point, I think.
Well, somebody's got to do it. You know, it's not going to be me.
Well, you never know. You might surprise yourself.
Pax, you hang on the bottom of the bullwhip for a little while longer, kind of looking ahead. Mostly you just see mountainous terrain, and then eventually it slows down a little bit, and you see ahead of you some like vehicles and feet. And at this point, you want to roll into hiding.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll one more sneak test for me.
Okay. I'd like to be as close to in their camp as possible, with still being able to hide. I have no prowess in like nature.
You're up against an 11.
I have a reroll. Hold on. Oof. All right. Well, I only have 3 successes.
3 successes over an 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, you roll into like behind some like shrubs. You drop
just all
down.
low. That's all.
And
They're
roll
not
in
great.
and
If you
drop.
spent grit.
Drop up against the rock, and you watch as the bullwhip rides up to a couple other vehicles, and the Cloud Cutter camp, actually, as you can see from your position, is in a hard-to-reach territory. It's comprised of what looks like makeshift walkways and housing pods mounted pretty sturdily on some very steep slopes. You realize now you've like made your way very like far up the mountain. Also branching off from the about what you would say is like half a dozen like pods, like housing pods. You see 2 landing platforms. One that has like a gyrocopter, another has like some smaller air vehicles, and one that has like a full-on plane. You also see that this whole camp is way up above where you are right now. You see this kind of cliff face, this wide stretching cliff face that goes like almost as far as you can see on either direction. And it's got like this kind of like weird inlay in it, like this natural like sheets of rock have naturally slid down off of it to create these kind of internal archways that like start deep and then like kind of branch their way further forward to the actual cliff face. And they're like they're not like clean archways. That's more like I said, like sheets of rock have like slid down at one point. And that is what is the face underneath the steep slopes that the Cloud Cutter camp seems to be on. And you watch as the bullwhip actually pulls off to the side and out of sight around around some rocky terrain. And you can kind of see some movement up in the Cloud Cutter camp.
Okay. Who's around?
There's 2 people who like when the bullwhip came in, a couple people were there, or a few people were there, but ultimately they left. And then you notice there's 2 kind of scouts that move into hiding positions that you're able to watch them like retake around this terrain.
Well, one of those scouts is gonna have a bad day.
Okay. Let's do another sneak test as you try to sneak up on one of those 2 scouts. Currently you're up against a 3, but I might spend some grit. What's your highest?
Oh. My highest is a 13. Also, I don't know. I have silent step, so.
Oh, so they're at a -2 to hear you.
Yeah.
You're up against a 3. I can't spend grit.
Okay.
How many net successes do you
have? 4.
Cool. Yeah, so Pax, you're able to kind of circle around the terrain, find your way up to that little like ledge that this sniper, it seems like, is posted. And he's just like kind of watching. He's not like always looking through the scope. Sometimes he just kind of has his hand like pressed on the top of the scope and he's just kind of looking with his eyes, and every once in a while he like looks and spots a thing and then goes back to looking with his eyes instead of the scope. And you're able to just kind of creep up right behind him. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Does he happen to have a respirator? Or,
He does not have a respirator.
Okay. Do they have a uniform? Is he wearing a uniform?
What you've been able to see of the Cloud Cutters is, in general, they seem to wear, like kind of a gray and black type color combination. It's never been like a straight up uniform, but Much like how the Riveteers tend to wear like denim with a red bandana, seems like the Cloud Cutters tend to wear like kind of dark grays and blacks.
Okay. Oh man, I have so many regrets about not taking like the sneak attack all the way down to where I could have. Because okay, well, okay. Yeah, I'd like to do like the Wizard of Oz moment where they're like infiltrating the witch's castle. Where like I want to like shank this guy or knock him out or whatever, and then like put on his clothes.
Okay.
And,
I will let you roll an attack with whatever weapon you want. At a -2 because you're trying to kill him in a way that leaves his clothes intact and unmarred.
He's unaware that I'm there though, right?
Correct. I am not rolling.
Okay. Okay, because I do have cheap shot. So does that give me bonuses or are you negative?
See, all the sneak attacks are you bonuses.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So
Cool.
I don't have
Let me
these
scroll down
'cause I
really quick.
don't know you're there.
So it's minus
You get a +2 to your
plus
weapon
2 to
skill.
skill.
Cool. So that just takes away the called shot penalty, and you have an extra accuracy.
Okay. All right. Cool. So
What weapon are you using?
Didn't we just find out you could thwack somebody really good?
with the bow, yeah. But I'm wondering if I think I actually Kidsy's bow, but I shoot with it.
Okay.
No. Hit him with it? God, I don't know. Okay. They're the same. It's the same dice. Okay.
Which one are you doing?
I am doing the. I'm just gonna thwack him in the face with the
Okay.
bow. Or what in the back of the head? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway.
How many successes did you roll?
4. So that is and I'm gonna spend grit to twist the knife.
How much damage is that?
So that's 20 damage with 1 piercing.
Take your grit back. I will be a kind GM and let you have that grit back because you don't need the extra. How much damage is it without the grit?
16.
Ah, fuck. Spend your grit.
Yeah.
You were
Okay.
one short.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you spend the grit. This sniper is just kind of sitting there. It takes you a little bit of time to make your way up to him, and then you creep up behind him, get the bow ready, and then you like get right by him, and then you just kick him in the ankle, and he like turns, and you just whoosh, like right across his face, just smacks him, and he rolls to the side, and then before he can roll off the ledge he's on, you grab his limp body and you drag him back to you. You start undoing his like clothing to be able to put some of it on.
Great. Also, the sniper rifle is mine now.
Okay.
And whatever else he
It's
has.
a medium firearm with enhanced sights.
Okay. And then does he have one of those radios?
He does. Yeah, you're able to take his radio. You also get 4 spurs, 2 machinery cubes, and an ammo bundle for a medium firearm.
Firearm. Yes. Cool.
Yeah, and
I'll
then
take
you
care of
don
that
his medium armor, which is fitted and has every elemental resistance there is.
All right. That's this better than mine. Oh, but it's mine is stealthy. Oh man, I could be counting some more hits. All right. Well, I don't need to be
So yeah,
stealthy. if
9
I fit
armor
in.
points, 1 toughness.
Yeah.
So you start donning that. Meanwhile, Kinsey and Roland, you've been walking along the road. It's just been the two of you. It's been kind of silent except for the echoing, distant, repeating words of Ferdinand Koenig. Smug and casual as you kind of make your way along the wreckage of this fight.
What a strange thing we stumbled into.
Yeah. The Badlands are weird, Kinsey.
This is certainly not good luck, I've found. I mean, how did we happen upon a gang war between my mother and my father? I mean, that's just...
It's sort of astounding, really.
It really is.
If you think about it, like, what? It's not even like we were near where you spent a lot of your life, right?
No, not necessarily, no.
That's not true. You did live on the eastern side of the garden, which is relatively close to this part of the Badlands.
Oh, it was further north, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You were way further north than where you got caught.
Yeah, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, and one of the key elements of being a nomad would be movement. So it's just it's odd. It's odd.
Yeah, it's...
And strange hearing the repeated voice of my father being like, "You've lost."
Well, I mean, sure, those are the words that he's saying, but what he's really saying is, I would like to win now, because I am a fool. Please,
so
snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. I will hand it to you. I'll give it to you on a plate. Take it from me. Unburden me of my victory. It weighs too much.
You think we can manage that?
Yeah, no, I've been listening to this guy for an hour and a half now. I feel like I've got a reasonably good read on him. He is a man who believes he cannot lose, and probably rarely has, to which I have found repeatedly in my life. I am poison for.
I suppose I'm glad to be on your team then.
Yeah, we should have told him to do a different thing. This is a dumb plan, Kinsey.
This is not a good plan. Yes, I was hoping somebody would speak out, but I didn't have anything better.
But Kinsey, sometimes just knowing a thing is dumb is grounds enough to say it.
I mean, she was just so confident, It's hard to poke a hole in that bubble.
I get it. I want to prepare you. I may not... I'm not going to just go along to get along with your mom anymore.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it'd be a miracle if she survived, but I don't think she's going to be in any fit state to lead anymore.
I don't know. I mean, the truck ran into us, and I think I'm probably easier to kill than Tusk.
That's fair enough. Also, she did survive being driven over a cliff.
Didn't she get shot in the face?
Shot in the face. I mean, multiple things all at once. Yes,
she's probably fine. Weird day.
Very strange.
Helmsy? Helmsy, is that you? You hear calling from the distance the sound of Tusk, your mother.
Mum, Tusk, are you all right?
You see movement around a rock. You see the imposing large form of your mother kind of peek around a stone. You see the wreckage a little ways behind her of at least half of her war wagon. She steps around. She's bloodied, covered in soot, and like dirt, and she keeps one hand on the wait.
Did you take her arm, Tommy?
She keeps one hand on the on the rock, her flesh hand, her flesh arm, her real arm, and then she kind of hobbles around the side, and you see her left arm, her cybernetic arm, is ripped off at the elbow, and potentially more importantly, her right leg, her actual like flesh and blood leg, has a bone sticking out of it.
That might be a problem.
And she sees you, and like, despite everything, she's got a grin on her teeth as she holds herself up kind of like awkwardly against this rock. And she goes, hell of a reunion, huh, kid?
No kidding.
And she kind of slumps against the rock and lets herself fall down a little bit, like awkwardly on her cybernetic leg, as her left leg kind of like limply hangs to her, or her right leg kind of limply hangs to her side. And she winces and she goes, old Pike Jaw just ain't what she used to be, I suppose.
Come on now, I'd like to rush up and help her into a sitting position so that she doesn't have any weight on any of her legs. Come on now.
Yeah, you help her up, and she like kind of pushes up off your shoulder. You get her set up right. She winces in pain as she does, and then before you can pull away, she kind of holds onto you for a second, and she just kind of smiles and looks you in the eye and pats you a couple times on the cheek. Houndsy, I'm happy to see you made it through that.
Happy to see you made it too, Mommy.
Roman! Hell, did the fighter of the three of you not make it? Really? I would have lost money on that bet.
I think she was on top of the bullwhip last anyone saw. So
Yes, I tossed her a grenade. I think that was definitely... She's still there.
Ain't no way to know, kid, so don't worry about it. Look, I appreciate y'all trying to help out, but I understand if you want to leave a old beaten woman to her fate.
I just don't know how we're going to catch up with them. It's not like we have a working vehicle.
Well, it ain't a matter of catching up with them. I mean, Ferdinand's so confident that he's invited everyone to his house. But, I mean, look, these things usually end in one of two ways. Total eradication of a pack, or the integrations of two under the victorious Alpha. And, well, she gestures to her, like, bleeding leg with a bone sticking out of it. I mean, one Alpha can't even stand, so I suppose there's a victor, and it's Rockford. He's gonna have a nice little present from Koenig.
Well, I gotta be honest. My priorities now are see about Pax. It would surprise me if she was dead, just given how generally capable she is at not being dead. And then, I guess, fix this whole situation for Soldina is sort of like, I guess, a close second, if only because if it was a distant second, Pax would be upset.
Fair enough.
And then third, I'm finding the time in the Badlands for me has revealed some things, and I'm finding I'm quite vindictive, and I find Ferdinand personally displeasing, and I would like revenge now.
All right, yeah. Hey, either of you have a first aid cube on you? I'd like to do something about this old kicker.
I've got half a med kit. It's not done yet.
All right. I mean, that's The sentiment is nice.
Listen, Tusk, it's bad all over.
I haven't got well, you know, I've got one first aid cube.
I'll take it. And she...
Well, you have two because there's the first aid cube in the first aid packet under the seat of the now Joe.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and you got Pax's, whatever Pax didn't have on her, you guys looted, so yeah. Anyways, you expend one first aid cube as she takes it and starts working on her leg a little bit, and she goes, I get what you mean about Ferdinand. He is a thorn in the side of anyone he meets. I mean, if the coward was so hell-bent on dethroning me, he could have at least done it honest-like. Turns out he's just the same old outlaw he's always been. He's never understood that shooting first and asking for loyalty from the bloodied ain't a guaranteed bet. A leader like that, who plays at being strongest because he's got the biggest gun, that's the kind of leader that only inspires loyalty for as long as he can keep one hand on that gun. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Intimate experience with exactly that situation. And that did not end well for old what was his name? His name wasn't Dead Man. That was, you know, usually people name their gang after themselves.
Serious. It was Rufus Nash.
Rufus Nash, that's right. Yes, Nash, Rufus Nash.
Rufus Nash. Y'all took him out? I heard a story or two about him.
About 75% of the way.
Oh, he's still out there somewhere. All right.
In a manner of speaking.
Well, hell, you can take out Rufus Nash. You got a little more pike jaw in you than I thought. She says, like pounding you in the chest, Kinsey.
I've got a cut there. Please don't. Ow.
Yeah, you look like hell, son. Anywho, the way I figure it, most of the people in the Riveteers that survived their crashes, they're probably on their way up to the Cloud Cutter camp. I'd love to hear if y'all have a plan, because as much as I'd like to waltz on in there and just shoot Ferdinand in the face, one, I don't think I walk out of that situation alive, and two, I don't think that gets the Riveteers back on their feet. I'd like to see what you got there, Roman. You seem like the crafty type. Gears are turning, I can see.
Yeah, I've got sort of 2/3 of 2 parts of a plan, I think. We're gonna need some dead Riveteers, because me and Kinsey need their clothes. I'm gonna turn a lot of this garbage into a car, so we can drive there, I think, or walk. Maybe, I don't know. No, that's dumb. That'll take too long. I'm gonna fix up some bikes, I guess. Maybe.
Cool. And you know, we may have somebody already in that camp, depending on whether or not Pax is there. I mean, it'd be helpful if we had some form of communication with her.
Yeah, I mean, I've got this radio that I've been to just sort of be generally disruptive to them, but I don't actually know what channels or anything, and I don't feel confident in, broadcasting.
I'm surprised we've spent as much time together as a group with, involving you in the group, and we still haven't come up with some sort of code to speak.
Well, yes.
Yeah, well, if you want some Riveteer clothes, I think there's a few people who are still in one piece down the road there by the wreckage, and if you want to try and whip some bikes together, that's one thing. Otherwise, I don't expect Ferdinand's going to be too upset with people on foot. I mean, he destroyed half our fleet easily. So.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with how long it's going to take to walk there.
Sure.
This time is of the essence at the moment. Then why don't I go gather the clothes? You start on the bike, so I'll come back and help as soon as I go.
Hey, how's he?
Just real quick. Because I've found that informing people of everything that they should know when they're working under a lie that I have told I've told Ferdinand that Kinsey is dead, and that the Red Wheel did it, and it's her fault. I figured just sort of throw a wrench at a thing and see what happens. So if we can find a way to sort of conceal that rather identifying tattoo of yours, that would be great.
He did spend a little bit of time with you in your first year, Kinsey. Could be he's sentimental. Good thinking, Roman. Look, I was just thinking, Halsey, you left that motorcycle with the treads in the cave. You could maybe work your way back there. That thing will get you up to whatever peak they're hanging on. Did I hear him say Axton Arches?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right, I know the place. It's a cliff face. It's broken in a manner that creates the effect of a bunch of arches kind of embedded in the surface of the stone. Some skilled explorers or climbers of the like, they like to go there from time to time to prove their mettle. So I suppose he's up around there. I can give y'all directions.
Appreciate that.
I ain't gonna be much help up there.
Yeah, so let's get some transportation, let's get some clothes worked out, we'll start driving, we'll start brainstorming, we'll figure something out, we'll make contact with Pax, and, you know, probably kill Koenig just based on his track record.
I like that. Koenig in the dirt makes me happy. It's worth losing a leg over.
Okay. Yeah, I start getting to work on clothes and stuff if you want to go get the bike.
Of course it.
Sure. And as you begin to work your way towards salvaging the wreck of the war wagon and helping Tusk to her feet, we are going to quickly jump into a little intermission here. My clock is reading 9:43 Central. So let's go ahead and say we'll be back in 5 minutes. So that's 9:48. Anyone watching, refresh your drinks, use the restroom, grab some snacks, or just post in the chat with whatever you think might happen next. We're going to jump into intermission here. We'll be right back. We have returned. So let's cut to Pax.
Yeah.
Pax, the sun is starting to get a little bit low. It's not quite nighttime yet, but it's like, mid to late evening.
Mm-hmm.
As you finish donning this Riveteer's outfit, this Cloud Cutter's outfit, and you're there now. What do you do?
Okay. I'd like to get rid of this body.
Sure.
Like, take it out somewhere where maybe an aggro pelter will come for it or something.
Yeah, you drag it over to a cliff edge and you drop it down said cliff edge.
And then just sort of like run my boot over the dirt so it doesn't look like there was two people there, and then head towards the cliff face. I'd like to scale it.
Okay.
Without being seen, so I will go around or
so after you dump the body off a cliff edge, and then you move back, you kind of like do a little like mucking of the tracks. You look around, you see off in the distance, because you know where to look, you see just a little bit of movement of the other scout. And then you watch that for a minute, and then you start making your way towards the arched wallway. Mm-hmm. And as you do, you actually see coming towards you what looks like another Riveteer.
Cloud Cutter.
God, yes. Another Cloud Cutter walking towards your position. And what do you do?
Get into position like a sniper.
Okay, so you kind of backtrack and then like lay down.
Well, yeah, like however the guy was. That's how. Yeah.
So you lay there for a second. You're watching now, but you're listening behind you, and you hear just the subtlest of footsteps behind you, almost completely. This guy's okay, not as good as you, but okay at sneaking. And he moves up to your position and like kind of taps you on the shoulder. He goes, "All right, you're done. Good job. Anything I should know?"
I shake my head.
All right, get some grub. They got some good stuff up tonight. We're celebrating. Lucky you. And he gets in position, and he takes the sniper rifle from you. And gets
I want it.
Gets in position, kind of nuzzles it in against his shoulder. He doesn't even really take two looks at you. Go ahead and roll blend for me.
Okay. I am bad at personality, but good. Maybe. Oh, and then I can keep the gun.
Yay.
Oh. I have 3 hits with a 13 high.
Yeah, I need to know the highest. Okay. Yeah, you're good. He doesn't even like look twice at you. He just kind of sees the uniform, you in position. You don't like attack him or anything, so he just takes the sniper rifle from you. You like kind of glean that he's like intending to take the sniper rifle from you, so you leave it alone. So he just kind of steps into it. You do everything perfectly. Like you kind of like step to the tune. Your time as an indentured servant has given you the ability to kind of read what people expect from you. And so you just kind of like, you were really good at just like letting go of the rifle, stepping to the side, letting him do his thing and not getting in the way. And he's like, all right, get some grub. Lucky you. Maybe I'll see you there later. Once we get late night, if it's still going. And then you are able to walk on your way.
I guess I walk down to like the landing pad then.
So landing pads are elevated above the
Sorry,
arches.
I want to see where the other sniper guy goes, and I want to be behind that. But like, I don't want to like in case they're like best friends or
Yeah,
something.
as you start
I don't want to
making
like talk to him.
as you start making your way towards the arches, you look around, you don't see the other sniper. It doesn't seem like his shift is up yet. Or at least you don't see an exchange happening. If it's happening, it's nowhere near you.
I don't know where to go.
You just gonna kind of linger and wait? Or do you want to explore?
I am going to walk over, like get down to like the general area where that guy came from.
Yeah.
And then like wait for a minute and then like walk over to a rock and like pretend to pee on it because I'm pretending to be a boy.
Sure.
And
Do you have a bandana pulled up over your...
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And like my hair is like up in like his hat and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In an attempt to like see if anyone comes by at all.
Sure. How many net successes did you get on blend?
You didn't tell me your result.
Oh, sorry. I have a 9.
Oh, all right. 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you kind of linger.
Wait, was
a
I
little
the
bit.
aggressor? I was the aggressor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 3.
You linger a little bit. You kind of like, mess around by the rocks, and then after like 5-ish minutes, you see movement. And you look and you see the person who you identified as the other sniper kind of walking your way. And as he comes towards you, he goes, "Here's a party. Let's go."
Yeah.
And you follow him up. He leads you around to where the bullwhip kind of went out of sight. And as he gets there, he pulls out his radio and he goes, "Slipstream." And there's a moment, and he kind of leans there. He goes, "So I didn't see any riveteers, did you? What do you think? We kill them all?"
Hope so.
Hey, well, I mean, Koenig, he's got a bright mind, but I don't know. I mean, maybe he underestimates just how hard we go in a fight, right?
As long as I get to shoot somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He like slaps you on the shoulder, and then at that moment, you watch as intermittently a link of several retractable ladder and footbridges make their way down to where you are, kind of connected to each other, and they work their way down. And as soon as they make their way down, he leans back and goes, "After you."
I go.
And he follows behind. And you're able to climb up the roughly like 50 or 60 foot cliff edge on this interconnected like like column of retractable ladder and footbridges. And you make your way up to the top, and you are now on the steep slopes of the Cloud Cutter camp. You immediately set foot on like kind of one of the platforms they've created that kind of has housing pods around. And you can hear the sound of people like kind of drinking and cheering and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Roland and Kinsey, the two of you have made your way back to the original Riveteer camp with a very, very injured Tusk, who gets there with you. You have the motorcycle that you brought, and she's kind of laying there, out of breath. And she goes, "So, what's the plan once you get up there?"
Just sort of blend in and keep talking until the weakness reveals itself, and then mercilessly.
Man, you're one of them grifters for sure. Houndsy, you done good latching this guy to your pack. It's a mighty fine roadkin you found, son.
We're very lucky to have met him, yes.
Thanks.
I do like that. Roadkin. It's a good phraseology for what we have.
You ain't no prom. You showed that just in the way that you went out there no fear despite that jalopy you was riding in.
Well,
But hey, I mean, coming out of the garden, that thing's basically a war wagon, right? Anywho, yeah, you found good people, and I hope that quiet girl is still out there causing troubles. And well, Houndsy, if all this turns around and we find a way to keep the Riveteers still riding, I'd love to have you in the pack. Something to consider.
I'm honored. Truly, I am.
It'd be nice to have my actual blood riding beside me. As good as you are with that gun, maybe we can find something for you to do.
It isn't all just transferring goods, I'd hope.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, but every once in a while, someone tries to move in on our route, and usually it don't go like this. This is a outlier, as the educated say. She says, gesturing towards Roland.
Well, I suppose I'll have to discuss it with my roadkin, but I'll think on it. Thank you, Mike Joel.
Of course. And she sits back, and Roland, I'd like you to roll, I guess we'll call it manipulate at a -3.
Okay.
This is a read on how well Pikejaw likes you.
Oh, I thought it was putting on.
No, I didn't hear what you said. You cut out for most of that.
No, I thought it was trying to read whether or not she's putting on a intense
Oh no.
injury.
I mean, she is putting on a brave face to be like, my injuries are totally fine, but also not so much as she's not gonna die. She's not gonna be dead when you find her.
Okay. I don't know. I have a 12.
You're up against an 8. How many net successes?
That's 3. Am I the aggressor in this scenario?
Yes.
There's 3 net hits.
Okay. She kind of eyes you up and down, Roland, and she goes, like I said, Koenig's only as strong as his biggest gun. You want to find a weakness in that camp? Find a way to drive a wedge between him and Red Wheel.
Hey! I started.
Yeah.
Go me.
It ain't... I suppose it ain't so much between the two of them, more like Red Wheel and the rest. There's something about her. She's more nomad than Koenig, that's for sure. I mean, hell, if you were to waltz in there and challenge Koenig to Zimbalist, I doubt he'd even know the word. But Red Wheel, you're able to rub her nose in the dirt, well, that would really shake Koenig's hold on the Cloud Cutters, that's for sure.
Huh. Okay. This plan is starting to form. Pieces are coming together. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. This is not the worst situation I've been in, or we've been in the last 4 months. So I'm feeling pretty good, except for the concussion.
So are we going in as? Are we trying to take the place? Well, you're right. We're trying to take the place of the Cloud Cutters, right? We grabbed Cloud Cutters, not Riveteers.
No, we grabbed Riveteers stuff because
so
we're gonna show up as
defeated Riveteers.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and oh, hold on, and I like find a patch of motor oil that there certainly is in this cave, and just like rub it over Kinsey's identifying tattoo.
Yeah, he's got a big old grease mark on the side of his head.
Yeah, no, not bad. It looks like a real.
You look like you know the
type.
clutches.
Huh? Well, I suppose we should be moving on. Is there a first aid kit here at your camp, by John?
Yes, I reckon someone's got something in their tent. Ain't like they're gonna miss it. And with like a short amount of time, she's able to produce like a poor quality med kit.
Before we get going, would you mind, Roland?
Yeah, no, you look like shit.
He said the same thing to me. We really are like.
I need a first aid cube though to treat an injury.
Yes.
So
no, not to treat an injury. Not to treat an injury.
Oh, okay.
You just need a med kit to treat an injury. First aid cubes are specifically for healing hit points.
Cool. Yeah, I'll take a crack at it. The poor quality just means it doesn't confer any bonuses, give negatives.
It does not give negatives. It just doesn't give you anything but reliability. You get an additional reliability, and it also allows you to treat injuries.
Cool. Okay, that's not bad. First aid's not. Oh, hey. It's just 3 hits.
Yeah, I mean that's three successes. I believe is enough.
Yeah.
It's 3 plus
the class
1.
3 injury, right?
But it might be 3 plus 1. I've recently there's been enough changes on the treating of injuries that I just feel like I need to double check.
Sure.
My camera is right in front of the part of the screen I need to click on. All right. So, 3 successes. So it's not quite treated. So, Kinsey, what you can do for your class 3 injury is you can tally 3 recovery, like 3 rests on your injury. However, a class 3 injury will require no, not 3 rests. Sorry. Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. My notes are half and half with the new rules and the old rules.
Sure.
Yeah, your injury is treated.
I was treated. Cool. And thanks for that. Did he also help Pike Joel with her injury?
Yeah, I can try and put a bone back in the place.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Better than just strapping a bandage around it, I suppose.
Probably. Usually. That's only 2 hits.
Okay, so you do a little like you redress it basically. She like wraps some rags around it and like you actually add like a splint.
I put the bone back inside and just hope.
There's a little bit of shouting, but mostly like, you know, stoic grunting as you like cut like and push the bone back, and she's like, "That's smarts there, Roman." Oh.
Yeah, the bones are usually supposed to go in a line, not in an angle.
I'm just gonna, don't mind me. I'm just gonna lay back here and maybe take a quick nap. Y'all, here. And she pulls out a flare gun and sets it down. She goes, "Once you got Ferdinand all dethroned, as it were, whether it's dead or just with his people just kind of shaking, you fire that there flare, and I figure by the time you do that, I might be close enough to waltz into that camp triumphantly and take control of the cloud cutters, or at least these cloud cutters. Keep the maybe replace some of the fallen riveteers, as it were."
Yeah,
Is there anything that would help us pretend to be riveteers? And I haven't spent my life in the nomad thing. You mentioned something. What was the word? Zimbalist?
Do you? Do I know about Zimbalist? Because I want to in character to look
her
astounded.
her face like sinks a little bit when you say that, Kinsey. Roland, if you'd like to roll a lore test, you can. I don't remember if you have any of the lore talents.
I don't have the talents, but I'm good at it.
Yeah, so I will give you, Roland, I will give you, given your history and your path, you're going to be at a -4. It's unopposed, but it's a -4.
That is minus. That is just 2 hits.
Okay, so you know enough to know what Zimbalist is. Zimbalist is a ritualistic sort of challenge between nomad packs, or internally within one nomad pack. Basically, amongst nomad culture, it is a challenge between two people. It's sort of like a point of pride and honor. Basically, you know just the basics, which is when Zimbalist is invoked, people like those nomads of honor and repute, they will accept the challenge, and then a course is picked out that is agreement between the two parties, kind of a route that they have to drive in, and then they have to complete 4 laps in that route. The person in the front at the end of those 4 laps is the winner of the Zimbalist. However, they are allowed to attack each other ruthlessly during that chase. So it's kind of usually results in last man standing is the winner of the Zimbalist. They usually don't complete all 4 routes. But basically, it's like hundreds of years ago, nomads kind of developed this kind of method of resolving disputes between people within the same nomad pack, or between nomad packs themselves, as far as like routes and like who's in charge, that kind of thing. It's almost similar to like a gunslinger's showdown, but with a little bit less consistency. The only other thing with 2 successes is that like over the course of time, like Zimbalist has become more of a relic and less of a thing that is always accepted. More like everyone holds Zimbalist like in high regard if it happens, but if someone refuses it, that person is not necessarily like shunned from nomad culture, as long as they still kind of come out on top.
But it would certainly look bad in the eyes of any nomad. If perhaps their leader was like, I don't think I'll.
Yeah, and based on what Tusk said, she thinks that Red Wheel would probably accept a Zimbalist on, Ferdinand's behalf. But her face sinks, Kinsey, when you say that, and she goes, sometimes I get carried away and I forget, you screw up all proper and stationary with them proms and the garden, and you just don't know nomad life. She kind of falls silent, kind of internally thinking.
It's true that I clearly have the blood, but I learned discipline. I learned other strengths, and hopefully I'll get to show you a few of those.
It ain't that I'm ashamed of you, son. You've grown up to be a harder man than I would have expected growing up with the McCharlottes. Honestly, I never thought you'd have the stones to set foot in the Badlands, let alone ride with a nomad pack. I don't know. I guess it's the medicine and the blood loss and, the impending doom of my position as alpha that's got me all weepy. Don't mind me.
Don't go too soft on me then, because we've got a plan, or at least 2/3 of 2 parts of a plan.
No, we're far past that. 3/4.
Good. I had hoped.
What about you, Roman? Your eyes lit up when I said Zimbalist. You know what? You can educate my son.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I'm from the garden. I've never done a Zimbalist, been able to witness one. But, like, I raced in my youth. I've learned the history of a wide range of things. I know the old ways.
It's more than a race. It's a blood sport. I mean...
Well, no, I know that. I didn't mean to conflate it's more the reason why I know about it.
I've heard a couple of the nomad packs in the garden are every once in a while enacted as Zimbalist. But here in the Badlands, it's a little bit more tangible. Look, I ain't suggesting that y'all go into you don't even have a half-decent vehicle to fight with.
Oh, no, don't worry. I'm not going to Zimbalist Red. I'm going to convince Redwheel to Zimbalist Koenig. It's going to be great.
Her eyes go wide for a second, and then she turns to you, Kinsey, and she goes, "Is he serious?"
He always starts with these kind of, like, crazy and outlandish statements, but you'd be shocked how many times they turn out to be true. It's very impressive that way.
Alright, sure. You can pull that off, Roman. Hell, whatever nomad pack I become the alpha of, you can be an honorary member. You can come and go as you please. As far as I see it, everyone can loan you their vehicles. I mean, hell, you can get Redwheel to turn against Koenig. Oh, man, I wish I had 2 legs so I could walk up and see it.
Well, there's time.
Not that much. Y'all should get on your way. I'm just going to get a little bit shut-eye here. What with the dying and whatnot.
Right.
I'm just going to real quick take this poor quality med kit and see concussion protocol stuff in there.
You're going to try and treat your own injury?
Yes.
Alright, cool. You can have a -1 for, kind of working on yourself.
Could I assist him?
Yeah, absolutely. You can roll first aid.
Yes, absolutely. That's right. That's right. Sorry. Cool. Take a +4.
Holy Kinsey, what?
I know, right?
So 2 hits means it's just a rest, and then it's finished.
What class injury is it? 3?
It's a class 3 injury.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll just keep 2 hits. That's funny. So I figure we'll probably sleep before we get to their camp. It's all good.
Cool. So Kinsey and Roland, you hop on this treaded motorcycle and start making your way towards the direction that Tusk told you the Axton Arches are. Meanwhile, Pax, you've been with the Cloud Cutters for a little bit of time now.
Right.
You have, without even having to roll any rolls or anything like that, you've noticed just a couple things. One is that Redwheel is there, and it seems like she doesn't seem to fraternize with anybody except for those that kind of probably ride in the bullwhip with her. judging by their numbers and the fact that their outfits are a little bit more similar together. It's kind of like they're their own subsection here at this camp. Red Wheel wears a slate gray double-breasted coat accented with red stitching and silver studs across the shoulders. Her crew kind of have similar attire to match her. The one thing that she has that kind of sets her apart from the rest is she wears a full kind of long red scarf that's like wrapped around her neck and like hangs on her back and her front. Otherwise, she has her bright like pale white mohawk, and she does pull the respirator down to like imbibe in some alcohol with the party, and you notice she's got like a huge scar that like comes from like her middle bottom lip down like to the bottom where her chin meets her neck, and it's like a really wide scar, pretty old by the look of it though. And she grabs some drinks, seems to talk with her people, and then the crew of the Bullwhip basically goes off into its own like large housing pod away from everyone else, whereas everyone else keeps drinking. And over the course of the evening, as you kind of like keep a low profile, you do see the trickling in of riveteers as they kind of like one after another kind of like comes up with like an escort up the ladder. And everyone's like, we got another! And they like toss them into the crowd, and everyone like pours drinks on them. They treat the riveteers pretty poorly. Seems like they're putting them through a really, really kind of brutal hazing ritual, to the point where they like get them up against the edge of the cliff edge where the Axton arches are, and they kind of like, you know, don't let them leave. They kind of press in on them, so they kind of like their heels are just hanging over the cliff edge, and they're trying to keep their balance. And like all the while they're shouting stuff like, this will get you used to high altitude. If you are afraid of heights, you don't have a place in the cloud cutters. As they like kind of shove and unbalance these people as they're like kind of trying to stop from falling down the cliff edge.
Is this all rank and file?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
You do. I would say like you got there pretty early. You did see Ferdinand at some point. He stepped up and was like, everyone basically cheered as he went, and like he didn't give a speech or anything. He just kind of toasted, and he's like, cloud cutters, let's increase our numbers and show Rockford what we're made of. And everyone's like, ah! And then he went off into his own place. Ferdinand himself is a handsome, thin man with sharp facial features. He has a well-kept, full goatee with a subtly curled mustache. He wears a tanned, long coat and a little red scarf that's like tied neatly against his throat. And his broad smile when he talks reveals one golden tooth next to his left canine.
Okay.
But you can see he is quite the handsome man, and even in his few brief words, he is quite the orator as he kind of addresses the crowd, and everyone like goes up and he's like, make sure them riveteers are made of the tough stuff the cloud cutters are. And everyone's like, rah! And then he goes off, and that kind of precipitated into what you are witnessing now. Or not witnessing if you want to, like, move on Ferdinand. It's up to you. You have, I'm basically describing what has happened in, like, a 6-hour time frame.
Right.
Or, like, a 4 to 6 hour time frame.
So these riveteers, they're not, or are they in mortal peril?
One wrong step, and they are. They're being pressed up against a cliff edge, and not allowed to leave, and their balance is all that is keeping them from falling. It is half in good fun and half malicious, for sure. The cloud cutters are not trying to shove them off, but they are not allowing them the stability to guarantee they won't fall of their own accord.
Okay.
Hey, while you think about this, everyone also take a grit because you survived a life-threatening situation. Also, everyone take a grit because of great roleplay.
Okay.
And what do you do, Pax?
So, just to clarify, the only lieutenant that Koenig seems to have is Red Wheel.
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, all these other cloud cutters seem to be just like you've seen this behavior before. Every once in a while, since you earned your freedom, or well, kind of secured your freedom from servitude,
Sure.
you bounced around like as a thief. You did occasionally cross paths with outlaws and bandits, and you never really stuck with them for long, but you did at least kind of circle around that crowd. And this feels a lot like that. Kind of this like unfocused anger and cruelty that doesn't seem to have a leader that is worried about the collateral damage.
Okay. Cool. I would like. This is dumb. I'm gonna get in real trouble. I would like to find the biggest guy or gal there, and it's better if they're dumb.
Sure.
But whatever. I don't have that kind of insight. I'm and I'm gonna pull. I'd like to grab him and look at him in the or I'd like to no, sorry. It's hard working with these no skills that I have. So I'm gonna get up. Yeah, I'm gonna get up on the table and I'm gonna get up on the table and I'm gonna take out Rosa's gun and I'm gonna fire it up into the air. And it's loud.
Yeah, no, that gets everyone's attention because it's a hard caliber pistol. So
yeah.
You stand up. As this is going on, there's like just roaring, raucous like chaos.
Yeah.
And you just draw out this extremely fine weapon and raise it up in the air and just like the bullet is supercharged by this like flash of illuminated energy, and the bullet flies up in the air with this puff of mist. And the crowd turns to you.
Cool. And I'm gonna go. Even one of those new recruits falls off the edge. Closest person to him is following right after. So watch yourselves. You're under my command now.
Oh man.
Okay.
I'm not trying to take away Koenig.
Man.
Koenig's a 30. I'm trying to be basically their drill sergeant. And then I'd like to spend my 8 grit to bamboozle.
Oh fuck.
Okay, roll intimidate.
Okay. Is there any bonuses?
I'm gonna give you a +2 because you have a hard caliber pistol.
I technically have 2.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh, come
It
on.
doesn't change
The
the
effect
modifier.
doesn't compound, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's sort of a yes/no question, not a how many.
-8. You're up against a 1.
Yeah! Roll something.
okay. Well, that's actually awesome. I'm the aggressor, right?
Yes.
Okay. I have 5 hits. I rolled a 1, a 3, 2 4s, and a 6.
Okay, so you said you weren't trying to dethrone Koenig. Were you trying to raise a question between who's in charge, you or Red Wheel?
No. I literally want to be Koenig's new, like, assistant. Like,
Okay, so you're
I
also
wanna
trying
be
to
his-
catch his eye.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't care what he thinks, right? I want the mass to listen to me.
Yeah,
right?
well, you get that for sure. And because you rolled 5 successes, you also do it in a way that doesn't seem to ruffle the feathers of either Koenig or Red Wheel. You fire the gun, and they look around, and one person goes, "Hey, who are you?"
You don't know me?
He kind of looks a little embarrassed, and he goes, "I'm new."
All right, new kid. I'm your new boss. Hazing continues, but if one of them falls off, you new kid, you're the first one to follow them.
I just want to know what to call you.
Boss.
All right, boss. You heard, boss? Hey, you! Hey, step back!
Shit.
And they all kind of back off for a little bit, and then a couple of them are like, "Yeah, it's boss." Yeah, you know, boss. Yeah.
Remember
When
boss?
Red Wheel's not around, boss is in charge. Yeah. And then someone comes over and is like, "I'm real sorry about him, boss. He's new." And then hands you a beer.
All right.
And
Cloud cutter.
cloud cutters. And you look up and you see Koenig kind of looking out of his tent. He's he heard the shot, right? He's pulled his tent. He's slid the door to the side, and he's looked at you, and he sees you, and he gives you a nod. He goes, and then shuts the door.
I flip my gun and I put it in my holster.
Super cool.
So you definitely have the relative loyalty of the grunts, and you think that you have an in with Ferdinand now,
Cool.
and he might come talk to you if enough time passes.
All right. That's cool.
Do you do much else throughout the night, or do you just kind of
Not tonight. No.
Okay, cool. So eventually, PAX, the party kind of winds down. People are slumped over anywhere that they found comfortable and sleeping. A couple people made it back to their little pods, and they've fallen asleep in there. And having kind of watched the situation and been part of the Cloud Cutters now, people are just talking to you. More than a dozen of them have come to give you their favor. They've forgotten that you were in charge.
This really worked.
So everyone's bringing you drinks. They're all hanging out with you. Everyone wants to sit at your table. You actually have at least 3 Cloud Cutters who are now your gophers, right? They are sycophantically loyal to you. Because you got 5 successes, so this just keeps going. And the couple of things you notice is that there are definitely still scouts out ahead who are keeping an eye and like catching any riveteers that roll in. You also hear this kind of thing where it's like amongst the crew, amongst the like riveteer, like, front line, they respect the hell out of Red Wheel. A lot of them are like, so do you know Red Wheel? Like, what can you tell me about her? All that stuff, right? All of them like really, really respect Red Wheel. They see her as like, then you do notice none of them ask you about Ferdinand. All of them ask you about Red Wheel. And you're able to kind of like do your thing where like when they ask you too many questions that you can't like lie your way through, you like intimidate them. And then they're like, and then
so you think because we're both girls that we just do each other's nail?
No. Hey, I'm just shooting the shit.
Oh yeah, no. We also brush each other's hair.
You know what? I'm not gonna finish this. I'm gonna go ahead and go over here. I got something to attend to. You've been great. And yeah, so you're able to like brush all of them off by just being like a hard ass the whole night, and everyone totally believes it 100%. No one's crossing you. You live the bandit life for a night. And then, like I said, at the end of the night, most of them are slumped over. A couple of them are kind of like burning the midnight oil, like, just kind of like sitting and like having really asinine conversations like, you want a hover car or you want four wheels? I mean, you gotta take and pick your pros and your cons. And the other one's like, well, why'd you raise pros with the right hand? Why'd you say cons with the left hand? And it's just like, stupid conversations.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know what would happen next. Okay, great. I will kick some drunk people out of a pod. It's my pod now. and take a rest, I guess.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna play it easy for the night. You do have to share your pod with like 2 sycophants, but that's it.
Sure, but I let them know that if they're not cool, I am gonna.
Yeah, it's basically like a very small pod that has like 4 bunk beds in it, like and they're gonna sleep on this one. You get this one all to yourself. And they're very drunk and they pass out, and you're fine. Meanwhile, Roland and Kinsey, it is very late into the night, extremely late into the night, and you roll up, and out of like nowhere, out of the shadows, you hear.
I did want to have a conversation with Kinsey.
Yeah, you have plenty of time. The way is not easy. The treads help you a ton, but it is slow going on the motorcycle.
Sure.
All right. So I've considered the many facets of this plan. I am not confident in our combined ability to conceal your identity over time. So I'm considering, what if I tell Koenig that I pulled you from the burning wreckage of the car that you were clearly presumed dead from, and then saved you. And maybe the wrench I threw, either did something or didn't do anything, whatever, is just maybe happy to have a son. How do you feel about, sort of acting like you're interested in learning about your father, ruling at his side?
I feel like that is an achievable ruse for me, which is not something I can always say.
Okay, maybe we do that.
All right. I mean, I guess I should keep the Riveteer's uniform, though.
Yeah. No,
Make it seem as though I'm closer to Tusk than I really truly am.
Yeah, for sure. Also, like, I just look good in this outfit, and I'd like to keep it.
I was going to say, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
So you wipe the grease off of Kinsey's forehead, and yeah.
But not too much. I want it to look like it's naturally applied grease and not concealing grease.
Right. You're making it so the symbol is there, but it doesn't look like someone's cleaned it. Because before the grease,
on these things.
Kinsey is very dirty based on the fight. He still has
often a little bloody too.
Yeah.
Actually, I think sometime during. Am I driving? Do we switch off? I would probably switch off in the driving.
Either you switch off or Roland drives. He's pretty good.
Just at some point, I think Kinsey notices that his gums aren't really stopping bleeding, and so he takes one of the bullets out of his pistols and kind of jams it out there.
Yeah.
And he's like, good for maybe, I don't know, I'm trying
Don't
out.
bite down too hard, though.
No. But for disguise purposes, I'm trying to learn from the master. Looks kind of nomadic.
You look like a madman, for sure.
Well, all right.
And you come over a ledge, and even in the moonlight, you're able to kind of see the form of the Axton arches, kind of like layers of shadows in this cliff edge. And then out of nowhere, out of the shadows, a figure appears, and he goes, "That's far enough."
All right.
Hey.
All right.
We heard you've been shouting over the canyon hours. Is your offer still good?
Still good for another half a day, yeah. Latecomers as you are, you missed the party.
You fucked up my bike.
Well, looks like you put it back together. You might be useful. Yeah. I'll show you the way to the gate's edge. You're just gonna have to leave that there bike with me.
That's fine.
Yeah. Leads you over, and then as he gets to the cliff edge, he pushes the bike up to the side. He goes, "Oh, one more thing. Any weapons you got on you? You gotta leave them with me, too."
Ah, dang. This is a true surprise. Who could have foreseen this?
He takes them up. Looks to Kinsey.
Of course.
What about you, Bronze Tooth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he grabs his radio. I assume competence at this point, Roland.
Yeah, I've turned it off.
Yeah. He gets his radio and he clicks it and he goes, "Slipstream." And he sets it back on his hip and he goes, "Welcome to the Cloud Cutters, boys. They'll give you a hard time up there for a bit, but ultimately, we're all happy to grow our family on the road, so stick it out, prove your stuff, you know the drill."
Yeah, we need to talk to Koenig, though. He's gonna want to talk to us.
Yeah, sure, you can have a conversation with Koenig, maybe when sun rises.
Okay. I'll wait to talk to Koenig to tell him I saved his...
Say what now?
Yeah, this is Houndsy, Koenig's son. I saved him.
Hello.
Koenig has a son. Go ahead and roll manipulate, Roland. You can have a +2 because it's true.
I was gonna say, I think I told entirely the truth.
Manipulate is also convincing people of the truth.
Am I dressed to impress at this moment?
Yes. You are wearing Riveteer gear. You are playing the part.
Great. Okay. ability. Okay. I got a 12.
I have an 8.
I have 3 net hits.
All right. He looks at you, looks at Kinsey, and he goes, "How about I escort you up the way, make an introduction?"
Yeah, if that's faster.
It is. What's your name, kid?
Jack.
Jack? Nice to meet you. I'm Spring. He shakes your hand. And then the ladder makes its way down. You start making your way up behind him. And the scene is relatively quiet. Pax...
I wanted to get up. Okay. I wanted to be up by dawn so I could start waking people up and making them clean up their shit.
Well, it's very late at night, but not so late that you haven't fallen asleep. You do hear a couple people be like, "Slipstream, call, put down the ladder. What's someone doing coming in this late?" And you just kind of move to the side of your little pod, and you slide the door open, and you look. And eventually you see Cloud Cutter make his way up, and you help up Roland and Kinsey onto this platform.
I am so happy. Oh my god, they didn't die. Okay, cool.
And then he basically leads them directly towards Koenig's tent.
Sure. I will bust out of my little pod, like slam the door open, be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Hi, I figure,
You're gonna wake up the boss?
I thought you was the boss.
Are you questioning me?
It doesn't seem like a great place, Spring.
What? You shut it. Look,
I don't want to hear from you. You, what the heck are you doing? Did you pass it through me? Did I tell you it was okay to wake him up?
I'll let you roll Intimidate at a
Okay.
+3.
All right. This is maybe.
I look over at Kinsey and I'm like,
I think a couple of times over, I have not hesitated to commit to a dangerous course of action, which is one of my advancement triggers that I took from the Explorer path.
Yeah, because you're part Explorer now. You can have that. That's an XP for everyone. For sure. Pax, you're up against the 6.
I'm the aggressor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have 2 hits. I rolled 2 6s
He
and
goes,
nothing else.
No, boss. I just didn't realize you was awake. These are some riveteers that Koenig might want to meet with.
Why?
This one here apparently is related to him one way or another. I also figure we probably... I mean, if you're gonna take the lead on this, maybe we want to wake up Red Wheel as well.
I like you. What was your name again?
Spring, boss. Name's Spring. I've been with the Cloud Cutters for a while now.
Yeah, that's right.
Seen a few dust-ups. I've been one of the few that survived.
Yeah.
Quite the handler of a jetpack and a gyrocopter when it comes to it.
I've noticed.
Well, thank you, boss. It means a lot.
All right. We'll see what Red Wheel wants.
Of course. If I known you was awake, I would have brought them to you first to kind of filter it through the chain. So
maybe through me first
Right.
from now on?
No, of course. I ain't trying to step on your turf. Roland, you know that's a lie. I ain't trying to step on your turf or, try to make myself bigger than my position. So, yeah.
I mean, we can work on that. So
Really?
just, yes. Can I count you as part of my team?
Yeah, it was you. You ride
Yep.
yeah, if you need a second hand, I'm right there for you. Spring's the name. I'm gonna be over there in that pod.
All right. Maybe I'll come get you when we go see Kernig. You can come with us.
Mighty kind of you, boss.
All right.
Mighty kind.
Why don't you hop too, in case there's any other straggler?
Yes, ma'am. And as he makes his way out, he bangs on the door and he goes, "Hey, it's your shift." And someone's like, "I thought that was another 30 minutes." He goes, "It's your shift now." And then he doesn't go into his pod. He kind of lingers out and smokes a cigarette and watches as someone tiredly wipes their eyes and moves their way down the ladder.
Oh.
And Roland and Kinsey, you've been reunited with Pax, who seems to be in charge of the cloud cutters.
You think you're so talented, don't you? I whispered to
I
him.
grab Kinsey by the front of the shirt and throw him in front of me, so he can walk in front of me towards the red wheel.
You're on a red wheel. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're heading. You know what pod is hers, so you're heading that way.
Yeah. And Roland too, but I don't throw him. He might fall if he does. So
on our way over, I do whisper, "I don't think I've ever been more proud."
I need a lot of help.
Give me 45 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, and we're gonna walk over to Red Wheels, and I'll knock on the door.
Okay, you boom. Knock on the door. There's a slight pause, and someone opens the door who is not Red Wheels. Someone you've identified to be part of Red Wheels' roadkin. Slides the door open, looks at you, sizes you up, sees the two riveteers behind you, and she goes, "What?"
I have something that I think will make Red Wheel really happy. I think you'll want to wake her up.
Looks to the two of them, looks to you, and goes, "Maybe in the morning." She grabs the door to shut it.
I'll stop it.
She looks at your hand, looks at you.
Yeah. Listen. You can either get the credit or take the blame. I can push my way through. You can't beat me. I'm trying to be nice. You don't want me to be nice? That's fine.
Go ahead and roll intimidation again.
Oh, God. I have such a low stat in intimidation. Oh, God.
You're up against a 9.
Oh, I can't beat a 9. Yeah, I can't beat a 9. I'm not gonna spend my last grit on it.
What do you got?
I have a 4.
All right, so Pax, you say that, and she looks down at your shoe for a second, and she kind of fixates, and then you look down at your shoe, and in that moment, it's like she baited you into it. You look down at your shoe, and then she just shoulder charges you back, and you actually stumble and fall behind Kinsey and Roland, kind of catching yourself deftly, but you do roll a little bit before you do, and you catch yourself and look at her, and she goes, "Yeah, sunrise, like I said."
I'll smile and go, "Okay, your funeral."
Good night. Shh.
Yeah. So I will walk. Uh, uh, I'll I'll walk Roland and Kinsey over to Koenig.
You're gonna go to Kernit's tent next.
Yeah.
Cool. You get there. You knock.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun. There's a slight pause. You kind of exchange glances with Roland and Koenig. And then, Pax, you blink, looking at Roland and Kinsey. And all of a sudden, there's a figure on the right of Roland and the left of Kinsey. And as your vision kind of focuses on these two, you see two men with dark leather armor and masks pulled up over their faces, and they have bows drawn and pressed right against Kinsey and Roland. You feel a slight point against your neck. And Pax, you recognize the arrowheads of these bows. They are Ophidian in design. And one of the two men says to you, "Who are you?" You walk in their clothes, but I question your origins.
I don't question yours.
The question stands. Who are you?
A person with information. I'm glad to see that you lived.
His right eyebrow betrays a little bit of confusion as he goes, "You don't know me. I don't know you. The only important thing is I don't believe you've received an invite. So perhaps you return to your pod, and the master will see you when he is ready."
Hey, I've been getting jerked around all night. This is Koenig's son, whose life I saved after his guy. So if you want to wake him the fuck up so I can talk to him, that would be great.
I'll let you roll manipulate or intimidate. Up to you.
I'll roll manipulate, even though intimidate's not bad, but
You're just way better at manipulate.
yeah. I have an important question.
Yeah.
Am I dressed to impress?
Yeah. You're playing the part of a riveteer, so.
Great.
Well,
I've got a 14.
I only have a 10.
I have 2 net hits, but I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 to twist the knife and have 3.
All right. More grit for me. this member of the Ophidian clan darts his dark eyes towards you, Roland, and then back to Pax. And then he slowly lingers over Kinsey and seems to focus in on the tattoo that's half visible through the grease on Kinsey's forehead. And then he says something in a language you don't understand. And then the other man with a bow lessens his slack on Kinsey, resheathes the arrow, and then disappears into the night. And then this one, his arrow slowly moves off of you, Roland, and onto Pax. And he goes, "We can wait. We're patient, yes?"
Not really.
I suppose it's my mistake for not phrasing the question rhetorically.
Oh, you did. I just didn't agree.
Nonetheless, he says, bow still drawn and pointed at you.
Do you miss do you miss Sky, or do you not remember her at all?
His face changes. It's kind of muted, like kind of emotionless form he's giving you changes, and his hand that has been pulling back this large bow starts shaking a little bit. Like all of a sudden he's having a hard time holding the string back. And he goes, "Who are you? What do you know?"
A lot.
Well, seems we have some time.
I've been taught never to give out information without getting something in return. So how about you take that shaky hand that you've got and maybe relax it a little bit before you shoot or me. Well, you can try to shoot me, but like you won't.
As soon as like you identify it, it like slowly recedes back into a calm formation. And he goes,
"There we go. Oh, that's so much better." So here's the thing. I'm here for you.
He like you notice as his eyes kind of like scan in your cloud cutter uniform. Doesn't seem likely.
I would hope you'd have more insight than that. I can play this game for a pretty long time. So I'm not leaving until you do, but your clan is in trouble. And the sooner we get back, the better. So
the sooner you return to my sister and tell her that her errand is foolish, the better. I am
why is
stuck
that?
here, bound to Koenig for the service he has rendered me. 3 of you would be wise
What's that?
to leave when you can.
What did he do for you?
And then the door slides open. And a still very handsome and put together, but maybe a little bit tired, Ferdinand Koenig stands before you. He's holding a snifter of a brown liquor. He's wearing kind of a gold inlaid robe that wraps around him. And his hair has just a slightly bit of a messy turn to it, though his goatee and mustache, impeccable. And he looks at the 3 of you and goes, Who, my dear, are you?
I'm Pax, sir.
Well, I feel like an utter fool for not identifying your potential sooner, Pax. He reaches out a hand.
The last time somebody did this to me, it was real bad.
It's my favorite thing now to have people offer you a hand and see what you do.
It has occurred to me how pissed I will be if this asshole is Rufus Nash.
Yeah, okay. So I'll look at my hands and I'll go, and then I'll like wipe them on my pants, trying to make them as clean as possible.
He smiles
And then,
triumphantly at that.
And I make it so they're as dirty as possible.
Sure.
And then I'll.
So he takes your hand, turns it to its side, and then doesn't quite actually kiss it as he makes
Great.
like the kissing motion, and then he turns it aside and he goes, "I've noticed some of your work in the past, but I did not realize the aptitude you have for leadership. Now, what fine gifts have you brought me?" You turn to the side to look at Kinsey and Roland, and you notice that the Ophidian that you've been talking to has disappeared into the shadows.
Well, this man here has brought you this man, and I brought them both to you. And this man is your son.
He looks at you, Kinsey. His hand holding the snifter droops a little bit. And he goes, "Hounsey, was it?" Oh, I think you might be muted if you said something.
That's correct. Yes.
He looks down, and you see some tears welling in his eyes. And then he sets the snifter off on like a little table. He brings himself up, kind of breathing in air to compose himself, pushes down his robes a little bit, and he goes, "Son, it has been too long since I last laid eyes on you." He reaches two hands out and takes your head in his hand and gives you like a kiss on the cheek, and then pulls you in for like a very warm and loving hug. And
I gotta know if this guy's full of shit.
You have playing the player, so you can roll manipulate to see if he is lying. He hugs you, Kinsey, tightly, and he goes, "If I had a wish in the world, I would have wished for you to not be taken from me such as you have been." He pulls you back again, holding your head, and he goes, "Handsome boy. At last,
thank you.
We have the chance to speak." Roland, how many successes did you get, and what's your highest?
It depends on the answer to this question. Has a piece of gear been modified or repaired, like put this bike back into usable order?
Yeah.
Have I talked anyone out of conflict with me?
Can you think of someone?
Spring, maybe, but not really. I think I've pushed my luck despite a clear chance to fail when I talk shit to the Ophidian clan dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Then I am going to spend 2 grits so I can count this 14,
Okay.
which then explodes. That's also 14.
Nice.
The chain isn't.
So, Roland, you can have a grit back. As I also will spend grit to count my 14. You're still the aggressor.
Okay.
But I eliminate whatever you have under a 14.
Cool. I have 2 14s.
Cool. So 2 net successes. You can't get a very good read on Ferdinand, but what you can get is that Ferdinand is absolutely the type of person to shift his outward persona to match whoever he's with. And you're fairly certain the persona that he is presenting to Kinsey right now is not true. If he has any paternal love of Kinsey, it is currently being overshadowed by Kinsey's usefulness to him. And that is what you are definitely able to pick up with your 2 successes, is that he is not being entirely honest for sure. Whether or not he actually cares for Kinsey in any way, shape, or form is unknown to you, but you can definitely tell that he is putting on an act at this moment.
Yeah, the important thing is not actually what Kinsey. It's that he cares more about that he's useful than if he cares about Kinsey.
Absolutely. So yeah, Kinsey, he pulls back. A tear streaks down one cheek, and then another one follows by the side, and he goes, "My son." And he turns to you, Pax, and goes, "You've brought me my son."
That was me.
He turns to you and blinks a little bit and kind of like wipes away the tears and goes, "Of course. Your involvement is to be lauded, sir. What is your name?"
Jack.
"Jack. Jack, my dear servant." And he reaches out a hand to shake yours.
Yeah, I shake his hand.
Clasps it in 2 and he shakes it vigorously and he goes, "Sir, you have found yourself a very fruitful home in the Cloud Cutters. Thank you for your service."
Well, you sort of blew up my last gig, so...
And he smiles sheepishly at that and he goes, "Of course. But you'll find that that slight perceived misfortune is in fact a blessing in disguise." He turns to you and he goes, "Pax, dear, do show Jack around the camp. See that he is taken care of, and you yourself will be rewarded accordingly. I need some time alone." And he turns to you, Kinsey, "with my son." And he presses his hand against your chest.
We've got some catching up to do, I suppose.
Indeed. I had no idea, as he puts his arm around you, that you were riding with your mother. I would have taken a different tact if I had known. I'm glad you survived. And the door shuts behind Kinsey and Koenig, leaving Roland and Pax alone out front.
We'll skip the hazing with you. Come on, I got a spot in my bunk.
Right on, boss.
Too pretty to let you go anywhere.
And Pax, you lead Roland down towards your newly acquired tent. Kinsey, you are sat down across a table from your estranged father. And that's where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Tune in next week for DadCon 2020.
All right. Sweet. So I don't think any questions were shot through the Discord. I'll double check. Yeah, nope. So if any of you who are watching want to throw some in the chat, go ahead and do that. We'll answer them. And to give you a little bit of time, let's go through any advancement triggers we may have missed during this session. I know, I think Roland got 2 and Kinsey
I
got-
don't think I helped anyone solve a problem with, unless you count the smog as flammable. It's...
I mean, you came up with a plan to, like, you came up with the plan to get us there, right?
Yeah, Roland, I think you did assist someone with your wits, mostly like because of your flashback, right? You took out the gyrocopter, so that feels like
Sure,
help.
okay.
That's a problem.
So that's 3 of mine.
Someone was threatened with violence.
Yep.
An open fight was avoided through underhanded means.
Yeah, like a dozen times near the end there. Yeah.
I take something I want but don't deserve.
A position
like,
within
authority.
the
A leadership role in this organization.
And I put myself in harm's way for no reason other to protect Kinsey and
you could have stayed in your tent, but instead you walked up and sized up with a spring. So yeah, for sure. So you get a grit for sure.
That's all 4.
We're at 9 XP. Any more for you, Kinsey?
And then patience was rewarded when Pax waited to become waited for the right moment to.
Yeah. She didn't just go and murder Koenig, right? So
right.
yeah.
I thought about it.
I know.
A predator was evaded. I think when we came into camp, there was the guard, and he talked his way out of being shot.
Yeah. Ultimately, you evaded all of the cloud cutters by hitching on your wagon with Pax.
And a trap was used
successfully. The Ophidian.
Oh, right, absolutely. Yeah. And then a trap was utilized successfully when we set a gyrocopter on fire.
Yep.
Nice.
So I believe that is 12 XP for all of you.
I don't think it can be 12 XP.
I think it's 11.
Because I only got 3 of mine.
Well, I did math wrong. Good job, everyone.
Listen, if you think it's 12, I'm inclined to agree with you as the GM.
Nice. Argotlam says, lit a gyrocopter on fire. I believe it was the sky.
Also
all right. Well, I don't see any questions popping in the chat, and I don't have any showing up in the Discord. So I believe for this week, we are done. We will be in next week, April 14th at 8 p.m. Central. We'll see what Kinsey's conversation with his dad is like.
Ooh, boy.
Thank you so much for joining us. We had a ton of fun playing. Hopefully you had a ton of fun watching. Thank you. Follow us, subscribe, do all that stuff. You got Amazon, do the Twitch subscribe thing for Amazon. See, it's totally free for you, and we get a little bit that helps us increase people's quality and stuff. It's been great. We love you. And enjoy this beautiful song by our one and only Seth Lilly, or Bobby Klein in the flesh.